ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Namaste, all of you. Welcome back to our continuing study of Shrimad Bhagawad Geetha through the pages of Poojya Swamiji's Geetha Home Study course. We are presently exploring the context in which the Bhagavad Gita came about, and we have reached a stage where the war is about to be begun. Both armies, the Pandava army and the Kaurava army, have been arrayed, standing against each other. And we also saw how Arjuna, the Maharathi, and Krishna, the Partha Sarathi, the Sarathi of Arjuna's chariot, the driver of Arjuna's chariot, how Krishna obeyed Arjuna's order and placed Arjuna's chariot strategically in a place between the two armies so that he could clearly, in accordance with Arjuna's wish, Arjuna could see clearly who he was to fight against. We will see how the mischievous Krishna chose to place the chariot where he placed the chariot. Let us now continue in the portion where we were looking at Arjuna's grief. We saw that Arjuna observed that the very people that he would have preferred to live with were the very people he was going to fight against. And there was going to be a lot of blood that was going to flow as a result. So Arjuna could not withstand this very thought that he was going to destroy his own family, his own kith and kin. These are the very people who are standing in front of me. How on earth can I kill such people? Was the primary question that was running in his mind. This is where we left off in the last capsule. Let us take the journey forward. Most of the people Arjuna saw were citizens of this great kingdom, Hastinapura. They had all been conscripted by Duryodhana, given a crash training course, and then brought to the battlefield. It was all visible because of their dress. They did not know how to button the shirts of their uniforms properly, and their walk was clumsy because of the heavy, unfamiliar military boots. They were obviously new recruits who had come to be fodder for Arjuna's arrows. Not only were there so many citizens in the opposite camp, but on his own side, too, there were a lot of innocent people. Arjuna then understood that no one was going to be victorious in this bloody war. Because Arjuna and his brothers were committed to the moral order, dharma, they did what was to be done and avoided what was not to be done. A word once spoken was fulfilled, and their actions were always beyond question. Their life, therefore, was lived according to this dharma. Whereas in the case of Duryodhana and his brothers, with the exception of Vikarna, it was quite the opposite. They followed a life which was questionable, adharmika. So the fight now was between dharma and adharma. This battle is sometimes interpreted as representing a conflict within the physical body. The body having been brought into being by a certain type of dharma, good actions. In this interpretation, the body is called dharma kshetra. Kshetra meaning place. Knowledge of right and wrong is universal. If the physical body is considered a dharma kshetra, then kurukshetra is your own mind in which there are conflicts between dharma and adharma. What is to be done and what is not to be done. What is proper and what is not proper. These things you already know, of course, because you have certain innate sense about them. No one can plead ignorance of what is right and wrong. This knowledge is universal. What do we mean by universal knowledge? All monkeys, for example, born to live on treetops, need to know something about the law of gravity. And they do. If you were to observe the mother monkey, you would see that she has no concern about whether there is a baby holding on to her as she jumps from tree to tree. The baby monkey, however, holds on to its mother's bosom for its dear life. It is definitely afraid of falling, whereas the mother is not. She just keeps leaping from one branch to another while her baby holds on tight. Suppose the baby monkey had to undergo some education to know that there is a law of gravity operating, that it must hold on tightly in order not to fall, and that if it did fall, it would be injured or it would die. If all of these things had to be taught to monkeys, many of them would die for want of education, and the species itself would sooner or later become extinct. Fortunately, every baby monkey, without being educated, seems to know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Without going to Harvard or Cornell, without joining the moral majority, it knows very well that if I fall, I will fall if I let go of my mother. I will fall is one piece of truth, and if I fall, I may hurt myself. Is the second piece of truth that the monkey seems to know. The third piece of truth is to fall and get hurt or be killed is not good for me or for my species. Period. Instinctively, then, the monkey knows all this. Since monkeys are made to live on treetops, the minimum knowledge every monkey must have in order to survive is to know I will fall. Objects come down. I will be the victim if I do not hold on to the other branch when I leap. This knowledge must be given to monkeys along with the creation. Only then is there any hope of a monkey living its life on the treetops. Such knowledge is instinctive and is what we call the creation. If that knowledge is not given to a monkey and it has to be educated in order to know how to survive, then we can say that there is a defect in the creation. Similarly, as a human being, I am born with the faculty of choice. Unlike a monkey, however, I can choose to live on treetops or on the 20th floor of a building in Manhattan or in a cottage on some riverbank. I can choose to go to Alaska and keep only my nose out, or I can live in the tropics. Because I have the faculty of choice, I can choose my course of action. I can choose various ends and various means to achieve those ends. That a human being seeks securities and pleasures is a common fact that we have already analyzed. And in seeking these ends, they have to follow certain means to achieve them. More often than not, upon analysis, we find that the problems lie only in the means and not in the ends. For example, the desire for money, an end, is not a sin. In fact, if we seek money, Lord Vishnu will be very happy about it, knowing that his wife, Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, is so popular. The security that money represents is a natural need perceived by all human beings. Seeking security is natural. People seek different forms of security. In itself, this seeking is neither good or bad, only natural. The means alone is what is important here. We will explore these portions in the upcoming capsule. Hari Om.